I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
I'm Jesper de Jong.
I'm Henry Larsen.
I am Francisco Cerundolo, and you are listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Here we are. It is, round 4 we're going to be entering into next at Roland Garros. It's going to be the second week, and we've had a, topsy-turvy first week, especially on the women's side of things. The men's side, sort of business as usual, I'd say, but there's been some crazy results today, and I had to message you earlier and say, mate, let's look at some of these. These are a bit odd. Namely, the one I wanted to point out to you was Sabalenka, mate, and we'll get onto her in a bit. But how are you doing? You've been enjoying the tennis this first week? I have.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. It's been good. I mean, today I am very tired. I've not really been doing much tennis related. I've been drinking again, doing all the things which aren't productive to my life. However, I am back on track now, ready for the next week. Apologies, guys, for not bringing you any streams today. Me and Ben did have the afternoon off, but we are going to be back. And we thought we would do a special podcast tonight. So if you're clicking on this video wondering, what is Ben and JG doing tonight? We are going to be talking about the week so far, talking about the upcoming week, and just giving some thoughts on Roland Garros. Who do we think can win from this position? Of course, we did our brackets pre-event. I don't know if you're having second thoughts about who you picked, but I'm sure there's certain players who I'm not so keen on, who I was keen on, say, a week ago. And apologies, guys, for the start being just the women's intro. Our men's intro has been pulled, and we're not allowed to use it whatsoever because the ATP just do not support any YouTubers basically using any of their content whatsoever, even if it's just short clips.
Yeah, sadly. Yeah, but the WTA, they seem to be all right with it. They can do with the promotion, I think. So we're always big on promoting the WTA. I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't so keen on doing so, but we are. And obviously Iga being the big person on the tour at the moment, the one who should be on the main court all the time, the one who is creating the records, and now on a ridiculous win streak after getting through Kovanic today in probably her toughest test. And I watched it earlier. I know you're probably watching from the back stream or something, but it was a bit touch and go there for a time in the second set. She really looked out of sorts. She lost, I think, 11 points in a row at one part of that second set. Was 4-1 up and came all the way back. Lost 4 games in a row. And I thought, well, she could lose the set here. Suddenly managed to get it clicking again, and it just seems to be on her racket whether she wins a match or loses it right now.
I thought it was a bit strange. I was surprised. I checked into your stream. I was late waking up, so I didn't see the start. But she didn't play particularly great today, and Kovanic pushed her further than, say, everyone else has this year. So that was a great performance from her. Ultimately, though, Iga still found a way to win, so you can't really be too critical of her. Next round could be interesting, and we are going to get into that, but let's just address the live chat. Thanks for everyone who's joined us so late on today. We've got Ashley in saying the ATP Savage. They've been doing it to not just us, but a lot of YouTubers. They're very funny about their content, and I actually am very annoyed by it because I think really they should be doing whatever they can to support the ATP tour. And by us using the odd clip here and there, how does that hinder them? All it's doing is bringing extra promotion. We're not there stealing matches and showing matches. You watch our watch alongs. We only have the scoreboard, and we're not showing. It's just not fair. We're just using small little clips, and they're always on our case. And well, ultimately, they're going to ban the channel if we continue doing it. So it is a bit of an issue, and I think that is that says a lot about where the ATP's at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I'm totally against it. Obviously, I spend a lot of time creating these things and a lot
It's a
of
waste of
hours.
time for you as well.
Yeah, exactly. So you spend all this time trying to make something nice for actual tennis fans out there to get them excited, a bit of hype for a tournament, probably more than what the ATP do themselves sometimes, making some of these promos. But maybe when we get big enough, we can speak to them personally.
No, I don't think
maybe
they will. They're very much all about themselves, and they don't like anyone using any of their content at all. We've got Ende saying the decision is hindering your creative liberty. Is so infuriating. All we're doing is a bit of creativity. We're not stealing matches. I keep reiterating
I said
that.
it's art, really. That's why I look
Yeah,
at it. It's creating like a music video. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and it's all within the fair use act as
yeah.
well. So you're using only if you use under 5-second clips, I think you can use them. And I'm not using any original audio anyway. I'm using it's going to music, so it makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, we've
Anyway,
got Renaud there saying ATP have no idea what good you guys accomplished for their brand. All we're doing is just trying to promote the ATP tour. But thankfully, the WTA still allow us to use the intro clip. But yeah, let's get
WTA.
into the video. Enough of the negativity because
Yeah.
we have a lot of positive things to talk about. I know you're talking about Iga. So are we going to start with the women's first or men's?
Yeah. Let's start with the women's first because there's been obviously we just spoke about Iga. I don't know how deep we want to go on her match in particular because we sort of touched on it. I wanted to try and touch on some of the big shocks today, really.
Okay.
The ones that have really jumped out. And I mentioned it in the start, and I just feel like we've got to go straight in on Sabalenka because
It's bothered you, that one, isn't it?
yeah, really has. To lose to Camila Giorgi, I'm no disrespect to Georgie. I think that she, on her day, is a good player. I don't think she's a world beater, but to win the first set and then lose the second and the third 6-1, 6-love, it's appalling. Like this is somebody who's the 7th seed in the competition in Sabalenka, somebody that I personally think, if she played well, could actually challenge Iga if she actually got her game together. Just useless in this match. And I actually like Sabalenka as a person as well off the court because I think that she's a real nice character and I like her personality. I just don't know what's going on. There wasn't even any there was 4 double faults today. Not even the double faults letting her down now. It's just something is just going wrong. And not to take credit away from Camila Giorgi because she obviously had a great match, but there's just something not right at the moment with Sabalenka, and I'm a bit worried that she's going to keep slipping down the rankings now. I don't know where this sort of ends. I was hoping she'd put a stop to the rot, but there's just more questions being asked now.
Yeah, with Sabalenka, it was actually a positive, the fact that she was so bad at serving, because you could put your finger on it and say, she sorts the serves out, she sorts the double fault, she's going to be all right, she'll progress. Now, I don't know what the problem is, because Camila Giorgi, no offense to her, is no world beater, and Sabalenka, beating the rankings she is with the power she possesses and the tennis ability. Remember last year, all the battles against Ashley Barty, we consider Sabalenka as one of the best players in the world. Nowhere near it. And it is a really disappointing result. And I think for me, it highlights more than just Sabalenka. It just highlights the state of the women's tour at the moment in terms of the seeds mean absolutely nothing. I wouldn't read into the rankings at all. And anyone, it seems, can advance and go very deep, apart from Iga. Iga's this sort of the number one, and she rightfully deserves to be number one. Aside from that, a lot of them aren't very good. And they're inconsistent. I mean, they are very good. They're just not very consistent. You can't rely upon them. Just talking about the Sabalenka match, I don't know if you saw the start as well. It was quite funny. Camila Giorgi got in trouble because her commercial label was too big. She said, I don't have any change. This is my only dress. I played with it before. So it was a bit strange that she was getting so told off with her commercial label. I think that just it's another thing which really bothers me as well. They're so on top of all like branding and making sure everything's so perfect. I remember with Apelka not too long ago, he wasn't allowed to wear another cap which had a different sponsor on, and it's all too much like money and sponsors and brands and visuals and just play the tennis. I don't know why it's annoying, isn't it?
Oh, it's so annoying. And this is you get this at Grand Slams even more than everywhere else.
Wimbledon's the worst. We're noticing it ourselves because we're trying to go to Wimbledon, and the things what we can and can't do is absolutely ludicrous. Like it's just like a complete regimented camp.
Yeah,
it feels like
literally
like a boot camp.
Well, yeah, because there's just so many forms that have to be filled in, so many terms, conditions, so many things that if you do break the rules, then they can just kick you out of the championships. And even like with having a logo that's too big on a t-shirt or things like that, you're gone. Like they don't want that on the TV. If you get caught on the TV advertising something else, then that's not good for them. That you have to pay them if you want to advertise on their championships. Money has to change hands.
I understand it for a little bit, but I think they've gone a little bit overboard with it, especially considering Georgie played in the same kit for the rest of the event, and today it was an issue.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
We've got Vances and Apelka got fined for wearing a hat during the trophy ceremony. I feel like, Roddick also did the same over the years, and he always got fined. There's just a few silly things in tennis, and I'm not a fan, but I guess rules are rules.
Do you remember
what's his name said in Australia? Rules are ruals.
What's just the geezer's name? Yeah, rules are rules. You'll be on the first plane home. That guy. I know him. I can't remember his name now, but I was thinking about the brand thing. Do you remember it wasn't that recently, but the Ronaldo one with the Coca-Cola? That was not so long ago when he just he just did it perfectly, just out of shot.
And he got fined for that, didn't he, as well?
I don't know, but he just said, "I'm not promoting them. I don't have a deal with Coca-Cola. Don't push them near me. I'm not saying that to drink this rubbish." So it says me having a Coca-Cola. But it just is what it is. Anyway, enough about brand deals, that type of thing. Let's talk about the other. I'd say big shock, but sort of is because of the scoreline today. Cornet didn't win a game. I thought this might be a closer match, and Qinwen Zheng turning into the surprise package maybe of this women's draw. I think there's a few in there, but I think as a youngster, I like her. I like her chances. Spain Iga next, but
I don't like her chances. And this is one I don't really agree with you with. I don't think it is a shock at all. Qinwen Zheng, I was going pretty hard on her. I believe in the Australian Open, I had her as my #1 qualifier to watch. Maybe a little bit too soon. She turns out to be a great clay court player. I didn't realize how good she is on the clay. She's beaten Halep and she beat Cornet today. She was the favourite to beat Cornet, I believe.
Yep.
So I'm not shocked by that. I don't know. I can understand what you're saying because she's young. She's not been at the level.
No games for Cornet. That was what was the more shocking thing.
Okay, maybe so. But I think I personally think Zheng is a quality player. 19 years old. I've been reading some tweets earlier. And the matches she's lost this year, the players, there's some rumours going around the changing room where they're all talking about her and how well she played. So even though they've just beaten her, so she's lost the match, she's getting a lot of positive feedback from the way she approaches and her attitude on court. And there's some incredibly serious, great moments from her. She has the ability to really shine. And that's why I believe she is going to be a girl for the future. We know how well she played in the juniors. TikTok Tennis is a massive fan of her.
Yeah.
And he's sort of the person who got me looking at her initially. I think she's a quality player. And Iga, listen, hear me out. If she's not at her very best, she's going to be under trouble. Maybe Iga could drop a set against Zheng, because if she plays like she did in the second set against Kovanic, where she sort of got pegged back, I know she was 4-1 up, got pegged back to 4-all. I don't think you can afford to play like that, because for a start, she probably won't get the double break on Zheng. So it's going to be really tough. And that's the matchup for me. That's the popcorn match for the next round, I think.
Yeah, it worried me a little bit today, Iga, to be honest. I was obviously looking forward to another dominant display. and the unforced error count was pretty high today from Iga. She had, I can't remember what it was, 23 unforced errors and only 13 winners. So, and Kovanic 13 winners, 31 unforced errors. So she started to come back into the match, but Iga, I don't know, she just went off the boil. I predicted 6-3, 6-1, and at 4-1 in the second, I thought, oh, here we go.
Yeah,
We're pretty much there. It's going to be plain sailing. And then she just lost her head. Everything went wrong. She went long. It went in the
I don't
net.
know if you can get too carried away,
The
though, Ben. I
volleys were
mean,
wrong.
it's
I
because
know, but
we held her in such
yeah,
high regard. That's the problem. She's made it really tough because she's won in straight sets again, and we're a bit worried about Iga. I mean, what more can she do? She won the match. That's the most important thing, and she didn't drop any sets. So for me, let's not over exaggerate it. However, it was a bit of a strange performance. It wasn't
11
the
points in
usual
a row,
Iga.
though. That was the weird thing. Like, that
Yeah,
was what there wasn't 1 point that she won for a long time. And I just thought,
yeah, that's
that's
a good.
really,
Yeah.
really weird. But the fact that she was able to just
Maybe just mentally sort of checked
snap,
out a little bit.
yeah, she snapped out of it, and then she got back on. As soon as she was 5-4 down, she went, right, okay, I'm back on it again now, and that was great. And then you saw she broke straight away, and then we were back 7-5 done.
Yeah, and Vance they're confirming Iga in the press conference is taking Zheng seriously. I did listen to that,
Got to.
and I think you've got to definitely take it seriously. And we've got Sam also saying Iga can't have any more hiccups. She's going to have to play better than Kovanic. Otherwise, she may find herself losing a set. But I think overall she should have a little bit too much. Let's look at some of the other matches. I know you've got the men's here, so maybe flick to the women's. So we've spoken about Sabalenka going out. Kudermetova beat her. Is that correct? No, sorry. Georgie beat her, and she's going to be faced up against Kasatkina. My dark horse to watch at the start. Very, very pleased about that because she does look good. And I fancy her to beat Georgie. I think this is in order, is it not? I'm pretty sure it is. It seems like the top four are the top half and the bottom four are the bottom half.
Let me bring it up.
And on that base, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
On that basis, it would mean Kasatkina, Georgie, the winner will play Kudermetova Keys. That's the real issue with Kasatkina. She's in the Iga half, so she won't be able to get to the final. If Kasatkina was in the bottom half, I actually fancy her to make the final, but the draw's not been in her favour. So we could be looking at, for me, her in the semis, and I'm thrilled with that dark horse selection because she has been the girl who I think has been really impressive.
She has been really impressive. You're right. And the way she dispatched Rogers today was pretty much with ease. She's yet to drop a set. She obviously knocked out Contreras, Gomez, she was a wild card or qualifier. Shramkova. Yeah, Shramkova in the first round as well. She's not had the worst run. So
she's had the doors opened up nicely for her because all the big people she would have faced have gone out. And now looking at this here, I mean, Madison Keys, another one who's been pretty impressive. I think that's actually kind of helped my bracket because I did have her going this far, I believe, which is a bit strange. She beat Rybakina today in 3, but it was very, very tight. If I'm honest, I prefer Kasatkina out of the lot of them. So out of the top, for me, it's an Iga, Kasatkina. Zheng maybe could trouble Iga. And let's have a look at the bottom because this one.
Well, you're not mentioning one person there. I think we've skimmed over it. We haven't even mentioned the fact Badoza went out today.
Oh, right, okay.
That one.
I was going to say Pegula.
No. Well, Pegula for me, like I was big on her until that last match against Kalinina, and she completely threw away a 5-1 lead, lost 7-5, and then failed to serve it out in the final set, and was just all over the place.
I think we skip past her for now, and let's look at Badoza. I know. Let me hear what you have to say about her.
Well, another injury. She's dropped out. I didn't even get a chance to see the match itself, but to see, I flicked over and then I saw that she'd retired against Kudermetova. I thought maybe she'd come back in this second set. Unfortunately, no. We've missing out now. Like, this is the tournament I thought she could be one of the people to really challenge Iga potentially. Looks like it's opening up even better for Iga now. Badoza gone, Halep gone. Who else gonna go now next? Like, it's just opening up the way. It's like the Rafa, like one of those draws, isn't it? Yeah. But I think anybody on their day and on the women's tour can have a good match and beat one of the others. So I don't know if it even matters that much anymore. Like,
Yeah,
I
well,
don't know. Like you said, the seeds.
yeah.
Does
Look,
it even matter?
I'm not sure if it does. In terms of ranking, though, looking at the seeds, there was only 2 top 10 players left, and that was Iga and Badoza. So now she's gone. There's only Iga left inside the top 10.
Mad.
And Badoza, the injury was her right knee. I'm reading here. So it was a medical treatment for her right knee. In the opening set, I think she had a medical timeout and then retired in the second. For me, that's a new injury. I don't think the knee was the problem before. If I remember correctly, it was the shoulder. Because I remember she had a lot of strapping on her shoulder, and that's what held her out. Held her from playing for a bit. So that instantly tells me that she's a bit of an injury-prone style player, and that's been always the big concern for her. I know she's young, but she's definitely racking up some injuries, and well, I don't think you want to be having them at this age, do you?
Yeah, it's
a long
worrying.
career.
Yeah, I mean, I've sort of went big on her this year. Probably now I'm going to have to learn my lesson. If you're going to go big on somebody, probably pick someone who isn't injury prone.
Or just stick to Iga.
Yeah, I think now we've learned
I
our
think
lesson.
we both know. The problem is, both next year we're going to go Iga, and something weird's going to happen where she's not going to be world number one because we're both going to go for it. And there's going to be some new girl on the block who just storms it.
Barty comes back or something. She's bored of golf.
Kenin just turns really good again.
Maybe. Osaka decides to play a whole year. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen?
But anyway, bottom half, because I'm itching to get to the bottom half.
Go on,
because I want to get onto these 8 names because we've got a few Americans in there. We've got one of my favorite players in Fernandez. We've got Sasnovich, who's playing great. Trevisan, good clay quarter. Teichmann looks like a world beater these days. Stevens doing the business. And I think it's a fascinating one. You've got 8 names. I think it could be any of them.
Really could. The ones that stand out for me, I'd say Fernandez, Anisimova, and Coco Gauff, I'd probably say, if I had to pick 3. But for me, the real matchup, and I'm sure everybody agrees, Fernandez and Anisimova, 11 o'clock in the UK tomorrow. It's the match of the day, and that goes across men's and women's for me. I think it's super exciting. It's so interesting. Layla's looks like she's rediscovered the US Open style of play where she's grinding out wins and that type of thing. That Bencic match that you covered, she looked like she was just tearing around the court again,
Serious.
just with the fist up and the pump in. And I was like, oh my God, she's doing it again. It's like that Layla's back again, which is fantastic. That's exciting. I want to see that Layla on the court. And if Anisimova's just been an absolute bulldozer as well. So who knows who wins that one? I think it goes 3, whatever happens.
Yeah, in terms of credentials, obviously Fernandez US Open final. Stevens got to a Grand Slam final as well, right? Are they the two?
Didn't she win it, or was
no? Sloane Stevens didn't win it, did she?
I thought she did. Maybe she was against Madison Keys, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think she did.
2017.
Have you got that? You can verify that.
Yeah.
I know she got to the final.
She definitely won it.
That was the opening match, wasn't it, in the Australian Open?
Yeah.
Sloane did win. Apologies. Yeah, I find that mad that she won a Grand Slam. But anyway, we've got Fernandez. She's got to a final. Sloane's actually won one. Apart from that, there's no other Grand Slam credentials in there. Elise Mertens has been very lucky. She's had a ridiculously easy draw and then a few walkovers, I believe. I think she got a walkover.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Fernandez's chances, but probably the favourite, maybe Coco Gauff.
Don't rule out Teichmann. I've got one eye on Teichmann for some reason. I don't know why, but she's sort of been impressing me. The Azarenka one, she had to sort of fight through adversity in that one, and I'm sort of proud that she came back from a set down to win it. She's 24 in the world. I think that she has a good... Stevens is a beatable opponent as well. Who knows?
Right, give me your top 3. I want your top 3 from the bottom who's going to advance in order. And we're going to start with number 3.
Top 3 in total, or top 3 from the bottom?
Top 3, just from the bottom. The top one, I don't really want to talk. I mean, it's eager to lose, isn't it?
One from each thing.
No,
then.
I want out of this. No, not one from each thing. I just want the top 3.
That's what I told you already. Fernandez, Anisimova, and Gauff. Or do they have to be different matches?
No, that's fine.
Okay, they're my top 3 for sure.
Fernandez, Anisimova, and Gauff.
Yeah.
So you've been bigging up Teichmann, now you're just abandoning her.
No, but I said it at the start anyway. So yeah, that's what that was.
So you're just covering all bases. You may as well say all 8 names.
No, but those 3 are the ones I just said at the start. Like they are Teichmann. I've just got one eye on her. I don't know. She's drawing my attention for some reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna go one name, Coco Gauff.
Not 3.
Well, I can give you 3. It's probably similar to you, mate. If I'm honest, it's them 3.
I mean.
Gauff and Anisimova. I think the winner of Anisimova Fernandez, on paper, can be the favourite to advance.
Yep.
However, I like Coco Gauff, and I can't put my finger on why. I think she's not had the toughest of draws, and I think her draw just looks very tasty, and it's even getting nicer here as well. So Coco Gauff for me is the girl I think people should watch.
I think it's exciting. The fact that Coco Gauff is a real chance. She's a big favourite in this match against Mertens as well. Despite Mertens obviously having the bye against Balskova, she defeated Gracheva pretty simply in the next match, 6-2, 6-3 Mertens. And no one's really talking about Mertens as well, which worries me because everyone's ruling her out and she's sort of just wandering her way through this draw. I'm hoping Coco can do it. No offense to Mertens, but she's not really my style of player that I enjoy watching that much. So anyway, let's bring up some of these tweets because we had this one was about Qinwen Zheng, wasn't it? And this was on facing Iga Swiatek next. And this is what she's been saying. I don't know if you want to read this one.
She said she's a wonderful player. Actually, I have been prepared for this match because I really want to play against her. So I'm excited for the match. Qinwen Zheng going into this one full of confidence. You can see she's got nothing to lose. Let's be honest. If she gets bageled and breadstick, everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, well, you're 19 years old. It's against the best player in the world. We expected it. If she goes and takes a set, everyone will be like, what a star. If she wins it, then, well, everyone's going to be raving about her and call her the next in line. So there's no, she can't lose in this match for me, which means she can go into it, play her tennis, play confidently, just beating Halep off the back of winning that. Just beat Elise Cornet easily without dropping a single game. I think she's great. She's going to be a player for the future. All the makings of a top 10. I'm going to go that far. And listen, I think she's got a bit of consistency in there as well for someone who's quite young.
Yeah, she did actually come off the back. I think, didn't she win a tournament? But it wasn't a WTA one. I think she won a tournament this year earlier on, didn't she? I think it was in.
It wasn't a WTA for sure.
No, it wasn't. It was like an ITF though. She won pretty convincingly. She won the final against McHale 6-love, 6-1 in an ITF, which is a bit ridiculous. So
she's good, really good.
Just battered her, and that's in a final. I'm super impressed. Can't wait to see what's next for Qinwen Zheng. This one, okay. So
for only the second time in the last 45 Grand Slams, 3 teenagers have reached the round of 16. So Fernandez, Zheng, and Coco Gauff. Since the 2011 Australian Open, the only other slam with 3 teens in round of 16 was 2019 Roland Garros, Anisimova, Iga, Vondrousova.
Yeah,
so it bodes very well because them 3 players, we know what they've been able to achieve in their career. Anisimova, she's still here playing quite well.
Yes,
don't want to run past her. She could easily come out of that section. I know we both did include her, but at the top, Fernandez, Zheng, and Gauff. Bodes the question: are we in good hands for the future of women's tennis?
I think. With a few of them, yeah. I think
or is the jury out a little bit? I mean, it's no real Serena Williams, Sharapova,
it's no rivalry yet.
It's not that. We're not getting that kind of vibe, are we? From these
Someone
ones?
needs
Venus
to come
Williams
to the forefront, don't they, and just challenge Iga a bit more at the moment.
Yeah, but these young guns, are they in the making of challenger? I know we've had Andreescu come through, won a slam, not really done much since. Saka got to the top and been slowly declining. Raducanu won a slam, been just declining.
I feel like
are these 3? Is any of these young players able to sort of maintain a position, say in the top 5, and be consistent, big hitting top player who can run like say an Iga Swiatek or a Badoza close?
I think Anisimova might be the one who could do it. I think that now that she's back, obviously.
Yeah, but she's not one of the teens now. This was in 2011. She was a teen.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel that she could be somewhere, because I know that
Oh
she was
no, how old
obviously
is Anisimova now?
she was away from the tour, wasn't she? I know that we were speaking to John
Oh no,
about it.
she's 20. She's
Yeah,
20.
yeah,
She's not quite a teen, but still very young.
yeah. She's still very young, so I know that she was off the tour for quite some time, and she was just been trying to get back into playing regularly again, trying to get some form back, and I feel that I'm warming to her after watching her beat Osaka, wasn't it, on Australia? And every time that she comes up against somebody who's pretty good, she always puts on a good performance, and I'm quite excited to what the future holds for her now, because she was someone everyone was raving about. She went away for a bit, and then we all sort of thought, oh, maybe she's not. But now she's come back to the top again, and I feel that she could be like maybe a top 5, like in for the future for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
I think we're maybe moving on to the men's now. Is that right?
Yeah. Let's move over to the men's side.
Yeah.
There we
So
go.
that's our summary of the women's. Let us know if there's any other questions you've got, and we can answer them at the end regarding the women's.
Yeah.
But looking at the men's, this is the men's final 16, and there's not so many surprises, is there? We've got a lot of the big names, a lot of the top seeds. We've still got Djokovic, we've still got Nadal, we've still got Casper Ruud, we've got Tsitsipas there, Rublev's there, Sinner's still there, Alcaraz is still there, Zverev as well. I mean, is there any surprises in these 16? Any names there you wasn't expecting?
Zapata Morales, my qualifier to watch, probably.
Yeah.
That's probably the main one. Other than that, I'm not that surprised that Holger Rune's there, to be honest.
No, me
so
not. Me too. We've got here
all
with
of them.
Jim. We've got Jim No Snow for him saying 12 of the top 16.
Yeah, I mean,
With Zapata being, I agree, the big shot.
Khachanov, maybe.
Not really. I mean, Hurkacz probably more than Khachanov. I didn't expect him to play so well on the clay. And of course, that man right at the bottom without the flag, Daniel Medvedev. And that is where we are going to start here.
Cool.
Would you like me to talk about him or you first?
I know that you've got quite a lot of insight on Daniel Medvedev, so I will allow you to take the reins on this one.
I don't actually have too much insight, but I'm just going to say my opinion on the whole thing.
No worries.
I know Gil did do a video on it as well, and it was quite interesting. I didn't get to get a chance to watch all of it, but I did listen to a little bit of it, and I agree with a lot of the things he was saying. With Daniel Medvedev, everyone wrote him off, myself included. He come into this match after losing his first first match back since his operation for his hernia he had. I think against Gasquet on the clay, and he just got smashed up. Like, he didn't look good at all. So we're looking into Roland Garros. I'm not giving him a chance in hell. Let's be honest. I think I had him maybe even going out to Laszlo Djere. I know you had him going against Kazmanovic. We know they're two really good clay court players, both who this year have already shown that they can push Djokovic on clay. Both of them played very well against Novak Djokovic. So I was looking at it thinking Medvedev doesn't stand a chance. But maybe I'm just got all of this completely wrong, because he's come out, even after the first match in the interview, saying the conditions are playing so good for him. He feels at ease. He's loving the clay. He said it was like a hard court in one of the things. I don't know if he was joking, saying it tongue in cheek. But I remember saying that to you. And that is one of the things I've got completely wrong. I put my hands up. I actually think, let's start with the bottom section. I know it's crazy to suggest, because all the talk on the men's draw has been about the top with Djokovic, Nadal, Zverev, and Alcaraz in there. But I want to start with the bottom half. And out of the bottom half, for me, the most impressive player has been Daniel Medvedev by some distance. I don't look at any of them other names. Tsitsipas has been on court for about 50 hours. I mean, he's struggling past everyone in 5. He's not looked great. Sinner's not looked good. Rublev's not looked great. Granted, maybe Rune's actually been very good.
Yeah.
Hurkacz has been very good, and Cilic. But the main standout has been Daniel Medvedev. He's moving around the clay brilliantly. I don't know what to put it down to. I was listening to Gil's reasoning on it all, and part of me agrees the fact that he, arguably, being such a great tennis player generally, it's going to be difficult for him to drop his level that much. I think he was also referring to sort of Andy Murray being, it hit the clay not suiting him whatsoever. However, he'd still be sort of a top 5, top 4 player on clay. Yeah, because of the level he's able to produce. Why did we just write off? I don't think what really being on a surface will have that much impact if you are such a good player.
Well, I'm glad that you brought up. That's the one comparison that I know that I've used with Medvedev in the past is Andy Murray. And Murray was never good on the clay, but he was always one of the best players on the tour. So it was only a matter of time before it clicked, and he got to the Roland Garros final, didn't he? And where he played Djokovic. But Medvedev, I think it's only a matter of time before he gets to a Roland Garros final as well. That's my personal opinion. I've always thought that. I didn't think it'd be this year, though. I didn't think he'd be playing that well so soon. I thought maybe give him a couple more years and he maybe... But the draw's so good for him.
Yeah. The big part was the fact that he's just had an operation, like for his hernia, some surgery.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting him to bounce back from his injury. No, but I'm not talking about just being on clay. I mean, if this was the US Open coming up, with not much preparation, I wasn't expecting the most from him. So it's not really the fact that it's on the clay on Roland Garros, but it is an important thing Gil said, where if you've got two players who are very similar in ability, i.e., this is the example he used, Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, a surface will play an impact. For example, there's more chance Djokovic will beat Nadal on grass. There's more chance Nadal beats Djokovic on clay because they're so close in level. If you've got Daniel Medvedev against, say, like a Kecmanovic or a Zher, he is just he's a lot better tennis player. So if things click, then he's going to be okay. The statistic which I found, looking at some of the matches, which impressed me the most, is how many points he's winning off his first serve. Daniel Medvedev's winning a lot off his first serve at the moment, which, for me, signals the fact that he's very powerful on his serve on this surface. So maybe the surface isn't like it was at old. It does seem pretty sandy and hard, and I think the ball's traveling quite quick off it. And Daniel Medvedev, he's flourishing. I think, big call, he's going to make the final. I think he beats all of them. I really do. I know you disagree. We had a little chat off air. You've got some little crush, I think, on Tsitsipas and his hair. But I think Daniel Medvedev, he's the best player at that section. You can't disagree with that. He's an absolute athlete. He's got the perfect frame. He's just a tennis player, mate. You look at him, he's a bit lanky, he just works. And the problem is he's so big, but yet so fast. So I think he'll get around this court well. He's got drop shots. He's got no weaknesses in his game. Daniel Medvedev, fully fit, healthy, enjoying his tennis, because the big thing is his mind as well. Yep. And if he's happy, we know he's a lot more dangerous. I think he breezes it to the final.
I don't know about breezes it, because the deeper you go in the competition, the harder it gets. And he is up against a Grand Slam champion next. He's got Marin Cilic, who also went through. I did call that one. I said we had Ivan Masic, I think, was in the chat and yesterday during the match, and he was saying, "What do you reckon on Cilic's my crush on Tsitsipas?" Yeah, what do you reckon? He said, "What do you reckon on Cilic versus, wasn't it Goffin that he was playing? No, Simon, sorry, not Goffin. Apologies, that was her catch." Yeah, and I said, "I think he's going to beat Simon in straight sets." And he was like, "Oh, no, I think it's going to be closer." I was like, "No, I think he's just got the power. He's got a big serve. He's got a big game. I think he'll probably wipe the court with Simon." Did happen. And Cilic bageled him. He only dropped 5 games in 3 sets there against Simon. It's going to be a different game against Medvedev, but I think that one.
So are you telling me now Cilic beats Medvedev?
No, I'm thinking it'll be tougher each time. Medvedev hasn't dropped a set now. I think this is where.
Does Medvedev beat Cilic straight sets?
I don't think he does. I think Cilic can definitely take a set in this one.
If this was on a hard court, if this was at the US Open, does Cilic take a set then?
No, I'm not so sure.
That's what I think you're playing. You're doing exactly what everyone else is doing. Then you're looking at the surface far too much. On another surface, you're always going to say Medvedev straight sets. For me, could come back to bite me, but I am making these big claims on this podcast because that's what I want to do. And I feel very confident about something. So I'm going to push my agenda. And my agenda is a pro Daniel Medvedev agenda right now. I think he's got a point to prove with knowing that at Wimbledon he's not allowed to play. I think that's giving him a bit of extra fire in the belly.
That's true.
He had the incident of getting to the final of the Grand Slam against Rafa in Australia, and all of the stuff what happened with the crowd, and afterwards him saying falling out of love for tennis. He wants to win. He wants to win. He's hungry. He's ready, and he's playing well. So a happy, hungry Daniel Medvedev with his ability and his physique is unrivaled. I mean, listen, watch out, everyone. I think he can get to the final, and that is my pick from the bottom. But yeah, let's move away from Daniel Medvedev because I could talk about him for far too much.
Yeah,
let's
definitely.
talk about, say, I don't know. Do you want to go to? Let's just quickly touch over Ruud, Hurkacz. Ruud, we know, brilliant clay quarter. Hurkacz, not so great on the clay, but still, Hurkacz is proving what I've been saying. If you're a good tennis player like Hurkacz is, and maybe the conditions are not a typical clay court like they have been in the past, because it seems to be some of these good players are doing very well, like a Hurkacz, who's great on the hard courts. He's flourishing as well. He's not dropped a set.
Well, this should probably tell you something, because people were always comparing Rome and saying that's the perfect warm-up, weren't they, for Roland Garros? Is that not correct? Saying this is the tournament you want to play because the conditions are probably the most similar. Well, guess what? He just played David Goffin in Rome 2 weeks ago and lost in straight sets. Now he's just beaten him in straight sets in Roland Garros. So
that surprised me a little bit. That did surprise me though, Ben. I must admit. I thought Goffin was going to beat Hurkacz.
Same.
So yeah, fair play to Hurkacz. He's really impressing me. Casper Ruud, he's been doing it the more scenic route. He had to come back from 2 sets to 1 down, I believe, against Sonego. He's still in the hat. Rune, I'll let you talk about him because you're big on him. And listen, I already know what you're going to say. You're predicting the upset, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's just been something which has just been tickling at me before he played Gaston today. Gaston, give him some credit. He did actually play quite well today as well. And Rune made it look easy. He beat him 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. And he had all the crowd against him, obviously, as well. And he looked like a professional performance from somebody who was like sort of beyond his years, let's say. Just stepped on there, destroyed in front of the night crowd, which is all French, and he looked great. I thought that he was playing with power. Gaston, the main thing he had was the drop shots, which were working here and there. But it was if Tsitsipas does not turn up with his A game against Holger Rune, I think he is going out of Roland Garros, and he is not he beat Ymer. I think it's a quite nice one to have after his first 2 rounds.
You'd have thought Kolar would have been a nice one. Went to 5.
I think Kolar was tougher than Ymer, though, for some reason.
Well,
I don't know why.
You think? I mean, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, he seemed to, I don't know, Ymer sort of rolled over and just, maybe Tsitsipas has now got all the cobwebs off. Who knows?
Well, Vance makes a good point. Rune has played better than Alcaraz so far, but gets no attention. Someone did send me a super chat the other day on here talking about Rune and Alcaraz. I think they're pretty much the same age, if not like a week older or something. It's very close in age. Don't quote me on that. And there's nowhere near the same amount of hype for Rune, but yet he has been beating some really big names. The thing is, he's not done what Alcaraz has done and sort of won a Masters, beating the Dow, Djokovic, Zverev in a row, which is insane. But yet, I mean, let's see. I think he can get there as well. And that could be a rivalry for years to come. We were talking about the potential Musetti, Alcaraz as being the big matchup for the decades. Maybe it's a Rune instead.
Well, this is the one thing that I was saying earlier on one of our other streams that was going on. We're having Yannick Sinner. I think that he sort of stayed still for about 2 years. And now we've got the likes of Alcaraz on this amazing trajectory. I think Holger Rune's on a slightly smaller trajectory than Alcaraz at the moment. And I feel Yannick Sinner, he was 2 years ago,
He's
were talking about him.
Is he?
Yeah, we were talking about Yannick Sinner. Oh, he's a teenager. Look at this kid on tour. He's going to be he hasn't gone up yet. Like, where was the next level? Like,
he's still in here, Ben. Yeah. He's still in the draw. If he gets to the final, is that not the next level for him?
Well, yes, that is the thing. And I said, will we see him get to the semi-final? Because if he goes out, I think the only person he's lost to at Roland Garros is Rafa, isn't that right?
Correct, yep.
So he doesn't have Rafa in his side. So if he goes out to Rublev...
That's why I put him in the final. In the draw, I put Sinner in the final because he doesn't beat Rafa.
And he's going to play Rafa.
Listen, the problem with Sinner is he's a bit lightweight. He really is. He needs to bolster up. He needs to get on the Alcaraz fitness plan and gain some muscle, because I just feel like he doesn't. It's not just that. I just don't think he's got the stamina to go through a whole Masters at the moment. But let's wait and see. Rublev not been that impressed with either. I feel like that matchup is anyone's. Both of them. The Battle of the Gingers is a tough match, I think.
This is a good point, though, that Descartes brings up, which is something that needs to be taken into account for Tsitsipas Rune, which will hinder him. Rune is great, but he cannot go for 5 sets. He keeps cramping. Needs to work on his fitness. True. But Tsitsipas can definitely go for 5 sets. We know that for sure. He's very, very one of the fittest players on the tour. I think if it does go the distance, Tsitsipas beats Rune. But if Rune wants to get it done, he'll get it done in straights or something like that. That's what I think.
Right. So. Is that time again, Ben? I want one name from the bottom half, and then we're going to move on to the big one, and we can talk all about Djokovic and Nadal until the cows come home. But right now, I want one name from them bottom 8.
I still think Tsitsipas.
Even after all of the time he spent on court?
Yeah, I still think so. I don't know why. There's something that's niggling at me. It's not just the facts I fancy.
Maybe what Gary's saying. I'll let you read it. It's his hair, isn't it?
Yeah, not that. At a slam, every match stands on its own. Steph is a warrior. Don't know if he'll make the final, but he's still the favourite for me from the bottom half. Yeah, I think based upon his performance today, he seems like he can just pull out a straight sets win if he plays his best tennis. And when he played Medvedev last time, Medvedev looked great until the quarterfinals last time. Played Tsitsipas, lost in straight sets. So it's Tsitsipas on clay on his day. If he plays his best, he's up there with like Nadal and Djokovic, just behind those two, I'd say.
SXM saying JG mentioning time on court, but he cruised today. No after effects of the past matches.
Exactly.
Yeah, good point. Can't argue with that. For me, I think I've already I've made my bed. I'm going to lay in it. Daniel Medvedev, he's the man. I can't say anything else now. I've been bigging him up, giving him my reasonings.
Definitely.
I think he's the one who can advance. He's been the most impressive from that section. I don't think you can disagree with that. He's been the standout name. He's hardly dropped serve. He's looked amazing. Not looked close to dropping a set. And you can say he's not played top players. Miomir Kecmanovic, by the way, I believe was my dark horse. He is a serious player. He's been one of the best players this year. You could say top 10 on form. He's been beating a lot of top dogs and coming very close in Masters semi-finals. Yeah, I did see some people suggesting he can win this event, but just purely because of the draw, I think he wouldn't have been that if he was at the top. But being at the bottom, there has been some calls for that, and he dispatched of him easily, absolutely blitzed him. So I like Daniel Medvedev, and that is my pick from the bottom.
Just before you go, just so that you get a bit of a backstory, obviously from last year, we obviously had Daniel Medvedev. He did get through to the quarterfinals, and he only dropped 1 set on his way to the quarterfinals last year, and that was against Tommy Paul.
And who did he lose to?
He lost to Tsitsipas in straight sets.
Okay.
But that's what I mean. It's just like it's a similar sort of route, though. It's like we shouldn't be that surprised that he's won in straight sets every match so far, really. But
yeah, just want to give a shout out to Diego Garza for the super chat. Not sure what currency that is, MX, but I do appreciate it. I don't know. And we've got, I would love watching either Medi or my dark horse Rune in the final. It could easily happen, mate. I mean, you've got a real good shot of that. So I'm sure you'll be watching the rest of Roland Garros, eagerly awaiting one of them two to get there because it can happen.
Definitely.
So
right.
Let's move to the top. So this was the big talking point. We was always talking about. These are the names we expected to be there, barring Zapata Morales. But apart from that, pretty much all of the names we're expecting. I called exactly the bracket according to Djokovic, Schwartzman, Felix, Nadal. I had Zverev there, Alcaraz. I didn't have Zapata or Khachanov. I had all of the other names in these spots. Do I still think it's going to play out the same way? We'll find out in the next few minutes. But what I want to start with is actually foregoing what could happen in a quarterfinal. I mean, probably not the best place to start because really I'm just suggesting that Schwartzman and Felix can't win, which of course they can in their own merit. Diego Schwartzman, Djokovic in the past, they've played 6 times. Djokovic has beaten him all 6 times. Felix against Nadal, I don't give Felix much chance. He's not been that amazing. He went 2 sets to love down against Varillas at the start.
Yeah.
And with Tony Nadal, I don't know where Tony Nadal's going to be. I think Nadal's been asked about it, and he just gets a bit annoyed that he keeps getting asked the same question.
Yeah.
But surely Tony Nadal's not going to be anywhere to be seen.
No,
I don't know. I can't imagine him
hide.
sitting in Felix's box. It's just a bit strange.
Nah.
But I think, touch wood, Nadal should be okay as well. So we're in the quarterfinals. Nadal, Djokovic. How historic is this going to be? I mean, the significance on this match is huge. You have to be joining us. We're going to be doing as much coverage for it as possible. It's going to be an emotional day. I've already seen arguments on Twitter. I've seen the camps coming out. You got all the Nole fans. You got all the Raf fans going head to head. They're locking horns early. It's a big one because there's so much at stake. And, Ben, it could be helped out by the organisers, because are they going to play it on the day slot or are they going to play it at night?
I thought you were going to speak about that. Well, that's the big question that the two have been asked, isn't it?
Go on then, stick it on.
So, right, 1 second. So this one is Michael Lodra said, if you were to face Rafa, this is to Novak, in the quarters, would you rather play in the day or in the night session? And then we've got Djokovic there. All I will say is Rafa and I would make different requests. Ha ha ha. So that's alluding to the fact that one of them would like to play in the night, one of them would like to play during the day. Which way would it go? And is there a Rafa one on the next one? There we go. So Rafa is confirming, I don't like to play on the clay at night because of the humidity. Conditions can be very heavy. Intriguing to see if, assuming we get it, his quarterfinal against Novak Djokovic is scheduled for a night session.
Well, what do they do? Roland Garros have to make a decision on who they're going to put on the night session, or whether they're going to make it a night session or a day session. And ultimately, it's going to affect them. Rafa wants the day session big time. Djokovic wants the night session. Is that going to be the difference? I mean, or do you not think it's going to make that much of an impact?
How about they do the day session and then they close the roof? Does that change anything? Just a compromise? I don't know. I don't know if it changes anything at all. But what are you
Sam
supposed
says,
to do?
why don't they meet halfway and make it 4 p.m.?
Half day, half night. Yeah. Start in the daytime and then move into the night. But then that'll probably favour Novak, and unless Rafa can get it done quickly, if it moves into the night in the 5th set or something, who knows?
I mean, does this settle the GOAT debate outright?
Flick a coin? I don't know. What do you do?
Does the significance of this match settle the GOAT debate?
Nah, I don't think so.
There's still time, isn't there? But
yeah.
I feel it just makes it just gives a good indication of what's going to happen.
I think it makes it super tough for one or the other. But there's part of me that feels that, I don't know. I feel that Rafa still, like, no matter which. Remember when it was the one where he won it last time? It was 2020. Was it 2020? Yeah, when he won it last time. Everyone was saying, it's in October. The conditions are cold. The roof's closed. It couldn't be worse. And then he absolutely blitzed everybody and that one. So I don't know if the conditions even affect Rafa at all.
I know. I agree. And maybe they are just, it's over. We overstate it a little bit.
Minute details, though, isn't it?
But what I'm more interested in is what they choose, because ultimately they're picking a side, aren't they? That's how I feel. It's like, who are they going to give the advantage to? That's a decision they're going to have to make. Let's wait and see which way it goes. I think Djokovic will actually revel in the fact that it is a daytime more than a night.
Maybe, yeah.
Because he'll have the knowledge that they've chose to do it on the day, and that will give him more motivation.
Maybe.
Do you understand my thinking?
Yeah, I know. Like, it would be antagonizing him. Also, we just had Real Madrid win their 14th, isn't it? They had their 14th title, and Rafa, Real Madrid fan, wants to win his 14th Roland Garros. It's all tying up, isn't it?
The Champions League final was in Paris.
I
mean, what more do you want? The Champions League final in Paris. Nadal watching Real Madrid take their 14th, and he's going for 14 in Paris. There's just some crazy numbers flying around. Let's get into it, Ben. Let's go back to the actual the matches so we can reference them.
Wrong one. Sorry.
So starting off, Djokovic, Schwartzman. Does Schwartzman trouble him?
No, I think Djokovic does it in straights.
And does Felix trouble Nadal?
No, I think Nadal does it in straight.
So how do you see this quarterfinal between Djokovic and Nadal going? I hate to do this because obviously anything can happen
Are we not
in
going
tennis.
to the other two? Yeah.
Not yet. We're going to speak about that in a minute.
They're
And
big.
another thing I want to say as well is I think Felix and Schwartzman are going to do something more than a lot of people are giving them credit for.
Maybe
We could be. I think maybe both of them take a set.
Both of them knock them out, and then
both of them take at least a set, and no one's calling that.
Why would we end up with Felix Schwartzman quarterfinal?
That would be a real turn up for the books. I mean, I don't think no one's expecting it. We've got Jamie in saying straight to Nadal. Who's the tougher opposition? What's going to be the closer match?
Schwartzman's tougher for sure on clay.
Yeah, but against Djokovic, Djokovic has never lost to him.
It's a bit of a weird one. But I don't think Felix he dropped 2 sets to Valias. I don't know if Nadal is a different animal. It just depends how well Felix can play. Like if his head goes, then he's done against Nadal. He might be beaten before he gets on the court. That's the problem. Like it's all about mental against Rafa. If you go on the court thinking, "Oh no, it's Rafa," you're done. He has to come on with a positive, I can beat Rafa today attitude. I don't know if he's going to have that.
Right, and I want to see, how do you gauge Djokovic's performance so far this Roland Garros? How do you gauge Nadal's? I want a number out of 100 for both of them and how they've played so far, them two, and I'll give you mine. So you're going to tell me who's impressed you more so far, Djokovic or Nadal?
Right, so Djokovic's route through, he's beaten Nishioka in straight sets, Molchan straight sets, Bedeni straight sets. Hasn't really, for me, got out of second gear. Bedeni's match, not even first gear, I don't think.
That was the easiest one.
Yeah, and it just looked like child's play a little bit. So it's hard to really judge based upon like the level of performance. But and Rafa, he's obviously beaten Jordan Thompson, Mutet, and Van der Zandschulp. So I'd say probably slightly more difficult opponents there as well. Van der Zandschulp as well. That was quite tough. Van der Zandschulp played really well in that match, and he still lost in straight sets. But Rafa still showed like enough of like he's just crushing the ball. I'd say so far out of 100, I'd give.
Well, you can do 10 if you want. I mean, it's the same.
I'd say 100. Let's say you said it already. So I say out of 100, I'd give Djokovic so far probably about 90. I'd say about 92, something like that, or 91 out of. It's been plain sailing.
Yeah,
and Nadal, I'd say maybe slightly lower. I'd say maybe like a 89, just because of the Van der Zandschulp.
Very close. So you see that you're not put much between them then.
No, I mean Rafa's really impressed me. He hasn't showed any signs of the injury whatsoever. And the only reason I mark him down a little bit is because Van der Zandschulp actually got under his skin a little bit in that match, and that was it.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm being a bit negative then. I see Rafa at more of a 70 type of man at the moment. I've not been as impressed as you have. I've seen spells which have blown me away, some brilliant shots. The third sets, though, have been a bit shaky. I mean, the Thompson one was straightforward. The Mutet one wasn't straightforward. He couldn't serve it out. That was a bit strange. I don't know how you can give him a high ranking, higher than 7 for that alone. And then the last one against Van der Zandschulp, I don't know, it was a bit shaky in that as well. I don't give him as high a score, nowhere near as Novak Djokovic. Novak Djokovic, I agree, about 90, around the 90 mark. Rafa, for me, 75 at a push.
I feel like for me, the only reason I'm giving him that is because I don't
know why you think, personally, from what you've seen so far, you think Djokovic and Nadal have been so even. I think Djokovic has been the superior player up until this point. And listen, I'm wearing the Rafa cap. I wear Rafa goggles on every stream because I am a bit biased. But I don't know how you don't see that Djokovic has performed a lot better than Nadal already to this point.
But there's
not a lot, 75 to 90. It's quite close.
I feel that Rafa does enough.
Not 89 to 91. I mean,
I feel like he does enough to win matches, and that's all that it takes for Rafa in these sort of in this tournament alone. He comes into the matches and he warms up like throughout the tournament. He hits enough winners in each match to get the job done, and he knows when to turn it on. And I feel like he doesn't have enough motivation sometimes against some of these players to even
Rafa.
No, yeah, just to keep that level up. I feel like it's that easy for him, some of these matches.
Man.
That's my personal opinion. I feel like he looked a little bit bored against Mutet when he was playing him. It didn't look like an even competitive match.
Listen,
And
Sam agrees with me. Shout out to you, Sam, saying I see it, JG. And she's also saying Rafa didn't hit enough winners last match. There wasn't many at all, really. But one credit to Van der Zandt. He anticipated where Rafa was putting the ball every time. He seemed to be able to know exactly where it was happening.
I
He
think
did play well.
Give him credit. He lost in straight sets, but he did play well. He did break Rafa's serve, though. So that's why I was sort of marking him down. But breaking Rafa's serve, and he got broke back straight away every time, pretty much, didn't he? So it was pretty pointless breaking him if you're just going to not consolidate your break ever. But that's Rafa. He found the motivation when he needed to. Oh, yeah. I got broken. Now I'll break you straight back. It's like a little game he's sort of playing with it's like cat and mouse. Yeah. Like, I don't know what's going on, but it ultimately still straight sets wins.
Yeah, Jamie saying, am I the only positive Nadal fan here? Listen, I am actually very positive, despite what I've said. I'm just saying that Djokovic has performed better to this point, which has been 3 matches. From here on out, I'm hoping to see better from Nadal, and I am very encouraged by what I've seen still. I think 75 for him after what he's been through with the foot again is not bad at all. I don't think that's bad. The last time we saw him was against Shapovalov, and that was really sad. He was upset. He had to retire from the match. No, he didn't retire from the match, but he looked like he basically checked out, didn't he? He didn't.
Yeah.
He mentally he couldn't move. It felt like a retirement, but it wasn't. Still, if we get the Nadal Djokovic quarter final, my man Rafael Nadal is going to still beat him. I know Gary's saying Djokovic has got him. I've seen so many Djokovic has got him this year because of that, and I understand you've got a great case to make for it because of what he's done before. But still, I think Nadal's going to do him.
I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, and sadly I don't even want to talk about the foot anymore. I would love to just talk about the tennis, but unfortunately I think the foot is going to be the big headline in the match. As always, it will be, will it withstand? Because I think if it does withstand, it will go to 5 sets, and we will see 5-set Djokovic Nadal, and it will just be dependent on if his foot holds up.
So you think we're going to see 5 sets?
I think we will. Yeah,
I don't think we're gonna. I think
Nadal's
going to get it done before he's going to get it done.
I think he has to get it done before.
You said that in Australia, and look what happened. He didn't need to do it then, did he? He came back in the 5th and was full of life.
It's not the same.
It is the same.
What you're telling me? Playing on you're the one who says to me playing on clay is much more entertaining because it's a much more longer style of tennis. We know that the rallies on clay are much longer. Watch their match from last year. The second set took an hour and a half for 1 set. That's why he ended up injured, because he got dragged into deep water with Djokovic. Djokovic can go for about 7 hours on court if he wants to. This is the problem. Nadal can't. He needs to get it done quickly.
And has Djokovic showed you this year that he can go distance? This year, in 2022?
No, but I know that he can.
He started to flag a little bit.
When?
We've seen him, Djokovic, this year. You don't remember him struggling? Flagging. Breadstick. Rublev, final. Run out of
his first tournament back?
Wasn't the first tournament back? That whole phase of tennis, he fitness-wise, he couldn't handle it. Granted, he's coming back. Listen, let me finish. Mate. Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me talk. Granted, he's getting back, and he's definitely finding his fitness, and he's looking a lot more. He's looking a lot better. But still, this year, he's not shown that he's able to go real deep in a match yet. He's just not shown that. So, for me, the jury's out a little bit. I'm not so sure if he is going to be able to this year. But let's wait and see. I don't think he's going to be the same animal as what he was last year. That's my opinion, though. Let's wait and see. We've not seen him go deep at the moment.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? It's just one word against another. I feel that his fitness level will just increase as the tournament goes on. He was only, for me, unfit because he hadn't played tennis for the first 2-3 months of the year. And he's just been gradually trying to get his fitness back. It's not easy to get match fitness back, but I think he'll do it gradually, bit by bit. But straight sets isn't really helping him. Maybe he'll give Schwartzman a set. Maybe just to give himself a little bit of a longer match.
Right, let's look at the other matches. So Zverev, Zabata, Morales. Can Zabata do it?
No. I
No,
don't think. Sorry,
I don't think so
Big
as well.
John was enough for him. He managed to go to 5 with him, so I think Zverev's a nightmare for him, to be honest. Probably
Yeah,
be
no,
spent.
don't see that. Khachanov, Alcaraz. I don't see actually Khachanov. I think I'm pretty confident we're going to get Zverev, Alcaraz, probably more than Djokovic, Nadal.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry,
I think
Khachanov.
Khachanov at the business end of a slam just turns a lot worse.
I just think Alcaraz is just that much better.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Well, you say that he almost went out to Ramos Vinolas, saved match point.
Well, apparently Ramos Vinolas
Points.
played the game of his life, whereas I don't.
Irrelevant, mate. I think he's still out. It's still Ramos Vinolas, and Alcaraz almost went out.
Who's in? Alcaraz.
Exactly. So I listen. I agree. I'm only playing devil's advocate. I think he will beat Khachanov, and I'm confident we'll see an Alcaraz Zverev. This one could be tighter than the one we recently saw between the two of them. But yeah, it's shaping up nicely on the top. Is there a standout name for you? Has it got to be Djokovic? I'm assuming it is.
Djokovic, Nadal, they're the standout names. Alcaraz is obviously just behind for me.
So where do you rank the three of them then? 1, 2, 3. Based off what you've seen.
Based off what we've seen so far,
yeah.
I'd go Djokovic, Nadal, Alcaraz.
Okay, so Alcaraz has been put to number 3 now.
No, he was always number 3 for me.
He was always number 3, beginning of the tournament.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I've always thought Nadal was. He should always be up there. Like, I don't think it's rude to have him less.
I'll be honest. When he skipped Rome, I put Alcaraz. I was really big on him, as you know. I was pretty close to having him number 1. I was teetering with the prospect of having him as my favourite to win Roland Garros. From what I've seen so far, you'd have to agree based off the body of work as Djokovic, Nadal, Alcaraz. However, I'm confident in Rafa. He's going to improve on his performances. Just a theory I have. And listen, I'm going for big on Rafa. I have to. It's my persona. It's my man. And listen, I think he can do it. For sure he can. He's written in the stars with the numbers as well. 14, Real Madrid winning 14, Paris. It's all like connecting up.
It's
like
weird, isn't it? I don't know if I like all of these numbers that are linking up at the moment. But I'm quite happy Liverpool didn't win the Champions League. I don't know why. But then there was part of me sort of like trying to root for them a bit tonight because I felt the final was a bit boring. I thought it was 1-0. I wanted extra time, but never mind.
Yeah, fair enough. I didn't get to watch it all. But yeah, I'm happy Liverpool lost. Did you any other tweets?
Yeah, I think there was some other tweets. Happy Liverpool. Cheers to Scapegoat there.
Cheers,
for that one. Right,
appreciate
this one.
That. Nice name as well, Scapegoat.
Yeah, that's cool. These ones are the players who have made it into the second week without dropping a set. We know those names. Holger Rune and Hurkacz, the surprise packages there on that one.
And if you just go down a sec on this one,
all right.
See the little star means he hasn't dropped serve yet.
That's a bit mad, isn't it? Hasn't dropped a serve.
Oh, sorry, dropped serve yet without dropping a set. Okay, hasn't dropped serve yet. Okay, understood.
That's big.
That's massive.
We were saying about Medvedev.
Hurkacz hasn't dropped serve yet. Maybe he has been the most impressive.
Maybe he should be the favourite for the whole thing. Who knows? He's just defeated. He got his revenge on Goffin. Maybe he's going to be the sneaky one getting through. And I know that there was this last one. This was the 6 players in the 4th round for the first time. And then we've got Alcaraz, Ruud, Felix Hurkacz, Holger Rune, Zapata Morales. So that's pretty cool. Like that little one.
Yeah, it's interesting. Some new names, new faces. You'd expect it's going to be, Alcaraz and Rune especially are going to be there many years to come. Probably Ruud actually and Felix, all 4 of them. You'd expect to see for a lot in these scenarios.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's all the way. Oh no, this is the last one. This was just the Djokovic and Nadal, each one win away from what would be a historic French Open quarterfinal clash and their 4th round records at Roland Garros, which is quite interesting.
Oh, I didn't want to send you this, but Nadal has lost in a 4th round at Roland Garros. Djokovic never lost. 15-0. Nadal 15-1. It's just ridiculous numbers. Someone's going to have another one added to their name. Is Nadal going to have 2 or Djokovic have 1?
Yeah, that's a crazy statistic, though, isn't it? I'm shocked. Djokovic with none on there.
Or maybe they both won't be. Well, if they don't get through, then it could stay the same.
That's very true.
They may never make the fourth round. We don't know. But let's wait and find out. We're going to be covering it all on the podcast. So make sure, if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to Game to Love, and join us for all the watch-alongs. Tomorrow, we've got a really busy day on the channel. We're going to be covering a lot of matches, one probably very soon. So we're going to get some sleep. It is coming up. Well, it's 2:15 a.m. It's a late one for Game to Love, but we wanted to bring this, and we was quite passionate to talk about the matches, so we couldn't really wrap it up. It was supposed to be half an hour, but I mean, we just kept talking, and we couldn't help it. But thank you, everyone, for the super chats and the help and the nice comments and all the blah, 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 blah. Really appreciate it all. It is nice of you. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Anything left to say, Ben?
No, just make sure, hit a like on the video, subscribe, and join us for the first match tomorrow. It'll be Leylah Fernandez and Nisimova, and that will be playing the same time as Novak Djokovic versus Diego Schwartzman.
Yeah, and if you play tennis yourself, download A Peak Tennis, and you can be as good as Ben on the court. See you soon.
I'm the most guilty of playing freely during practice, but then going to pieces during the match and playing very passively. This new app by A Peak Tennis, it changed the game. One session and I was already hitting with more controlled aggression on the court.
If you spend 5 to 15 minutes of focused time utilizing A Peak Tennis, then over time you will expand your mental skills and start playing great during competition. A Peak Tennis is led by a legendary and world-renowned performance psychologist, Dr. Jim Leah, who helped 17 athletes become world number ones, including Novak Djokovic, Andre Agassi, Jim Courier, Monica Seles, and Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. At A Peak, their mission is to make mental training accessible and affordable. For less than $6 a month, billed annually, you can start winning more matches and enjoy the game in the process. Plus, this offer comes with an additional 7-day free trial. So if you are unhappy, you can cancel for free. A Peak Tennis is already used by so many top US college teams and top players. Tennis is full of fine margins. With A Peak Tennis, it does give you the competitive advantage.
A Peak Tennis. Take care of up there.